Hello everyone, and welcome to Sunup. I'm Lyndall Stout. It's that time of year when hay feeding really picks up for Oklahoma cattle producers. And joining us now for some tips on feeding efficiency is Dave Lallman, our extension beef cattle specialist. And Dave, there's lots of different techniques, but let's start first with hay feeder design.
There are a lot of different designs available, and most of the cattle producers here in Oklahoma, of course, have a hay feeder. And so some of the research that we did several years ago showed dramatic difference in hay waste just based on the type of feeder that was used. So this one behind us may be a good example. You see quite a bit of waste on the ground there with that feeder. That was actually an intermediate in terms of hay waste, an intermediate style of feeder, but it's got a solid ring around the bottom, and it turns out compared to what we call an open feeder, one I like to think of as like an ag shop feeder that's just got 3 rings and then some vertical braces. Those type hay feeders wasted about 21%. The type you see behind me here wasted about 13%. So that solid bottom was worth about 8%. And then if you go up from there to another design that has both a solid bottom and some sort of a basket or cone design to hold that bale of hay towards the middle of the feeder, that was worth another 8% savings in hay waste. So a total of 5% waste in those cone or basket style feeders with the solid ring, and 21% hay waste at the extreme other end with the open hay feeder.
Really make a difference in your bottom line when you look at the whole winter.
Yeah, I mean that adds up, 16% from one type to the other. I mean that adds up pretty quick.
Another way to work on feed efficiency would be to limit grazing, and we have another example right behind us, these cattle in this wheat field here, correct?
Yes ma'am, they're limit grazing wheat. But you can use, and so we're going to stretch 1 acre of wheat for cow-calf pairs a long way this winter. We're going to have pretty high stocking rate, but those cows are only getting access to that wheat somewhere between 9 and 12 hours a week. So we're limit grazing them. But you can do the same thing with a hay bale and a hay feeder if you have a way to open a gate and let the cows into the hay feeder for, the guideline is 6 to 8 hours, depending on hay quality and cow nutrient requirements. And then at the end of that period, 6, 8, 9 hours, you just go out and push the cows out and shut the gate again. So it's limiting access to the hay, and the studies show that reduces hay waste and improves digestibility of the hay by somewhere in the neighborhood of around 15%.
And producers can still meet their goals for the finished cow, I guess?
For her body condition, probably limiting access to really low quality hay is maybe not the best use of that technique. Real old cows that don't have a good teeth, maybe 2-year-old heifers, probably, because they have high nutrient requirements, that may not be the best. But middle-aged cows in good body condition with average quality grass hay or high quality hay, limiting access to feeders is a great way to reduce your winter feed bill.
This is something I hadn't really thought about, but how about unrolling the round bale? Is there naturally some waste there, right?
Oh yes, and that's a very popular method to feed hay too. In that case, the producer just about has control over the hay waste. The more you feed per animal, the more they're going to waste. And so if you limit their access, just calculate about what you think they need and maybe feed that much or a little less so that they're encouraged to clean it up every day, you can probably minimize, I said 5% on the most extravagant hay feeder, you can probably limit their waste to 5% and below by rolling it out and limiting their access. But if you roll out enough hay and they use it for bedding, they're going to waste a lot of it.
They are, definitely. Yeah. Okay, some great things to think about. Of course, that bottom line is always part of the conversation.
It makes a big difference.
All right, Dave, thanks a lot, and we'll see you again soon.